Hello, Tim from Fair Play now on the 4th of June 2022. No video from me yesterday because I decided to do that classic bank holiday thing, repairing my garage door. So none of this royalty nonsense for me. Thought I'd just do a bit of DIY. And I'll tell you what, we've got one of those up and over garage doors, and they are quite a lot more complicated than you'd think they'd be looking at them, because there's a big spring at the top which kind of uses the weight of the door as a counterweight on the spring, and then you've got sort of cables going down either side to these rollers about halfway down either side, and to kind of grip onto those. And the cable on one side hadn't totally snapped, but it was nearly snapped. It was really frayed, and one of the sides of the door was hanging down, lopsided, and very hard to open and shut. So I had the job took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to. At one point I thought I'd definitely bitten off more than I could chew, but I persevered and got there in the end. There was a lot of snags to get over, but I sort of got there, and I got a much healthier looking garage door. So that's what I was doing yesterday, and by the time I'd finished, after it taking way longer than I thought, I was just sort of too knackered to make a video really. But back here today, and I noticed while I was doing that garage door, they were having the royal shindig in St Paul's Cathedral there in London, and I noticed there was a lot of booing going on when Johnson and his wife arrived. The crowds were booing him. And when Harry and Meghan arrived, the crowds booed them as well. And I'm sure had Prince Andrew been there, the amount of booing he would have got would have been massive. But guess what? He conveniently tested positive for the lurgy, so he stayed away. Yeah, right. Don't think it was the lurgy he was suffering from, do you? But anyway, I thought that was interesting, and it's pretty unprecedented. Normally with these things, the crowds are all happy and cheering and waving, and sort of waving the old Union Jacks up there, and it's all sort of hunky-dory. So the fact that there was quite a lot of booing just shows you, and the fact that some people deemed it necessary to stay away, just shows you that people aren't happy with the powers that shouldn't be, doesn't it, out there? Okay, they were probably booing not for the right reasons, as we'd see it, because of all the tyranny and the nonsense. It's probably more to do with Partygate, and then the whole Harry Meghan debacle sort of from a year, 2 or 3 years ago. But it doesn't really matter what the reason is. The fact that many people out there are so highly dissatisfied with them that they did this pretty much, as I say, unprecedented booing, just shows you the level of discontent out there. Just before I go, I thought I'd relate another story. We saw a friend on Thursday, and we went out and did a couple of bits, and the conversation came around to the whole cashless society thing and all these places these days that don't accept cash. And it's quite interesting because this lady is pretty much with the mainstream narrative for sort of many things, or most things, but she went to, I think it was a restaurant the other day, and they did the whole thing on her. We don't accept cash, it's card only. And she turned around to them and said, well, don't you think it's about time that you just got back to accepting cash payments again now. And they said to her, oh, we're not going to be going back to cash at all. We're just going to keep it card only payment now. And then she just turned around to them and said, well, in that case, I won't be coming back here again. Which I thought was brilliant. So it just shows you that it's not just the likes of you and me who are concerned about this whole cashless society thing. There's plenty of people that we'd sort of call normies who are clearly not happy with it either, to the extent that this lady is not going to be visiting a restaurant, which up to that point I think she'd been quite happy with, sort of food and service wise and everything. So I thought that was a very interesting thing to hear as well. So I'm going to keep this short because I'm going down to a barbecue. Got the classic British weather for barbecue, sort of wet and windy and grey. So we're going to go and do that, me and Lorraine. It's not for all of the royal stuff, it's just purely this friend of ours. They just so happen to have a birthday this week, so just going to go and celebrate their birthday with them with this sort of barbecue, and hope we don't get too wet. I'll be back tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.